From the mists of antiquity, one land has served as a cradle for some of the most profound spiritual ideas in human history. The Indian subcontinent is more than a place. It is a living library of faith, a landscape where the human quest for meaning has unfolded for millennia, leaving an indelible mark on the soul of humanity. This is the story of India's traditional religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. Four great paths, four distinct identities, yet born from the same soil. These are often called the Dharmic religions, a spiritual family rooted in the concept of Dharma, the universal law, the moral order, the right way of living. When we say Indian religions, we mean the faiths that originated in the Indian subcontinent, created by Indians, shaped by Indian history, and carried across the world through migration, trade, scholarship, and spiritual exploration. These religions are not confined to India. Their influence stretches across Asia and far beyond. Hinduism shaped the architecture of Cambodia and Indonesia. Buddhism transformed China, Japan, Korea, and Southeast Asia. Jainism inspired Gandhi and global nonviolence movements. Sikhism built one of the world's most recognizable and service-oriented communities. But why do they matter to India and to the world? They matter because they offer something rare, a blend of philosophy and practice, a search not only for God, but for truth, not only for heaven, but for liberation, not only for ritual, but for inner transformation. Their ideas have profoundly shaped global culture long before the modern age. Concepts that we now take for granted, the intricate law of nonviolence, the practice of meditation, the very idea of inner liberation, all have their roots here. Philosophies of duty, compassion, and the intricate web of cause and effect, these ideas have woven themselves into the very fabric of our modern search for peace and understanding, influencing everything from philosophy to psychology, from social justice movements to personal wellness. We'll explore their shared DNA, the philosophical operating system they all run on. We'll examine what makes each one profoundly unique, and we will trace how they created one of the richest, most diverse, and most enduring spiritual landscapes on Earth. To understand the Indian religions, we must begin thousands of years ago in one of humanity's earliest urban civilizations. So our story begins not with a text, but with a city. Over 4,000 years ago, 3,300 to 1,300 BCE, in the sophisticated urban centers of the Indus Valley civilization, we find our first clues. We have no texts, only enigmatic seals. This one is the most famous. A figure seated in a meditative pose, surrounded by animals. Is it a proto-Shiva, an early form of the great god? Is it a yogi? We can only speculate. But the seeds of contemplation, of inner discipline, were already sown. A new age dawned with the arrival of the Vedic peoples. They brought with them sacred hymns, the Vedas, and a spirituality centered on yajna, or ritual fire sacrifices. This was a world of cosmic order, a universe populated by powerful deities, or devas, representing forces of nature. Indra, the god of thunder and war. Agni, the god of fire, the divine messenger. This order, this ritam, was maintained through precise, powerful rituals performed by a priestly class, the Brahmins. But this ritual focus eventually led to a profound spiritual hunger, a new wave of questioning. Sages and ascetics, known as rishis, retreated to the forests. They began to ask different, more personal questions. Not what ritual must we perform, but what is the nature of reality? What is this self that perceives the world? What happens after death? Am I just this body or something more? And that is the one thing that by knowing it, all else becomes known. This era of intense philosophical inquiry, captured in the texts known as the Upanishads, marks a critical transition from external ritual to internal spiritual experience. They gave us the concepts of Brahman, the ultimate, unseeable, unchanging reality that underpins the entire cosmos, and Atman, the individual soul, the self, the spark of the divine within every living being. And then they offered the most radical idea of all, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. The individual soul and the ultimate reality are one and the same. This philosophical ferment created an operating system of core concepts. To understand any of the dharmic faiths, we must first understand this shared foundation. 4 key ideas form the trunk of this great faiths. First, Dharma. This word is famously difficult to translate. It's not just religion. It is the cosmic order, righteousness, one's moral duty, the right way of living. Dharma is the law that holds the universe together. It is also your personal, unique duty. For a warrior, Dharma is to fight bravely. For a parent, it is to nurture. For a merchant, it is to trade fairly. It is the blueprint for a life lived in harmony with the cosmos. Second, karma, the universal law of action and consequence. Every action, good or bad, every word, every thought, every intent creates an imprint. This isn't divine reward of punishment from a celestial judge. It is a natural, impersonal law as fundamental as gravity. Your present situation is the result of your past actions, and your future is being built by your actions in this very moment. It is the ultimate statement of personal responsibility. Third, samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Because of the unspent momentum of karma, the soul is bound to this wheel of life, a continuous, often painful journey through countless lifetimes. This isn't just a human cycle. One can be reborn in heavenly realms, or as an animal, or in hellish realms, all according to one's karma. For the sages of India, samsara was not a welcome prospect. It was a state of suffering, an endless cycle to be escaped. And that escape is the ultimate goal. In Hinduism and Jainism, it's called moksha. In Buddhism, it's nirvana. Though their definitions differ dramatically, the concept is the same: liberation. Liberation from the cycle of samsara, an end to karmic debt, an end to suffering, and the attainment of ultimate, permanent peace. This shared operating system of dharma, karma, samsara, and moksha is the trunk from which the 4 great paths emerge. First, the ancient sprawling root, Hinduism. Then, in a time of great spiritual questioning and social upheaval in the 6th century BCE, 2 new paths emerged as reform movements, Jainism and Buddhism. And much, much later, in the 15th century CE, in a land where Hindu and Islamic civilizations met, a new revelation was born: Sikhism. Now, let us look at each of these 4 great faiths, one after another. Beginning with the most ancient. 1. Hinduism, the eternal way. The first path is Hinduism, known to its followers as Sanatana Dharma, the eternal way. It is unique among the world's great religions. It has no single founder, no single creed, no single moment of origin, and no single holy book. It is a vast, ancient, and breathtakingly diverse amalgamation of millennia of traditions, a spiritual ecosystem with roots reaching back to the Indus Valley and the Vedas. Its core ideas are dharma, living in harmony with moral and cosmic order; karma, the consequences of one's actions; and moksha, the ultimate liberation from rebirth. Hindu thought also teaches the identity between Atman, the soul within, and Brahman, the universal reality. This unity is the heart of the Upanishads and the foundation of many yogic paths. The goal is to realize, not just believe, but to experience directly that the drop is and always was the entire ocean. Its scriptures are a vast library. They include the ancient Vedas, the source of ritual, and the philosophical Upanishads, the source of metaphysics. But for millions, the heart of Hinduism lies in its epic stories. The Ramayana, the tale of King Rama and his quest to rescue his wife Sita, an allegory of duty and righteousness; and the Mahabharata, a sprawling epic of a dynastic war, which contains within it one of the most beloved and important texts of all, the Bhagavad Gita, a divine conversation between the warrior Arjuna and the god Krishna on the eve of battle, a profound dialogue on duty, action, and the nature of God. Hinduism is often seen as polytheistic, with millions of deities, but for many Hindus, these are all manifestations, different faces, forms, and functions of the one, formless, ultimate reality, Brahman. The Great Trinity, or Trimurti, represent cosmic functions: Brahma, the creator; Vishnu, the preserver, who incarnates in times of need as avatars like Rama and Krishna to restore Dharma; and Shiva, the destroyer and transformer, the ultimate ascetic, the god of meditation and dissolution. And encompassing all is Devi, the feminine divine, worshipped as the gentle Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, the fierce Durga, goddess of protection, and the wise Saraswati, goddess of knowledge. Recognizing that people are different, Hinduism offers multiple paths to liberation, or yogas. There is Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge and philosophical inquiry. There is Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion and love for a personal God. There is Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action, performing one's duty without attachment to the results. And Raja Yoga, the path of mental discipline and meditation. Practices are as diverse as the faith itself. They range from daily puja or rituals at home shrines, to joyous public festivals of light and color, to massive pilgrimages like the Kumbh Mela, the largest human gathering on earth. This is also the source of the social philosophy of Varna, or social classes, a concept meant to organize society by function. Over millennia, this system evolved and hardened into the rigid, hereditary jati, or caste system, a source of profound social division and injustice that has been and continues to be heavily debated and contested by reformers from within and outside the faith. The influence of Hinduism is immense. It spread peacefully across Southeast Asia centuries ago, shaping the culture and architecture of places like Cambodia, Thailand, and Indonesia. Its philosophies influenced Western thinkers, and its contributions to mathematics, including the concept of zero, formed a basis for modern science. 2. Buddhism, the middle way. In the 6th century BCE, a time of great spiritual ferment, a new voice emerged, one that would echo across the entire world. This was the path of Buddhism, founded by a man named Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha was a prince born in Lumbini, in modern-day Nepal. His father, a king, shielded him from all of life's unpleasantness. But venturing outside his palace, he encountered the 4 sights that would change his life and the world: an old man, a sick man, a dead man, and a peaceful, wandering monk who had renounced the world. Shattered by the reality of suffering, old age, and death, he renounced his life of luxury at age 29 to seek an answer. For 6 years, he practiced extreme asceticism, studying with gurus and nearly starving himself, but found no peace. Finally, rejecting both extreme indulgence and extreme denial, he sat in meditation under a Bodhi tree, vowing not to move until he found the truth. After a profound struggle, he achieved enlightenment and became the Buddha, the awakened one. What he taught was not a new God, but a diagnosis and a cure. His core teachings are the 4 noble truths. First, all life from birth to death involves dukkha, or suffering. Second, this suffering is caused by tanha, our craving, attachment, and desire for things to be other than they are. Third, there is a way to end this suffering. And fourth, that way is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is a practical, ethical, and mental guide to living. It is the middle way. Crucially, the Buddha offered a different metaphysical view. He rejected the authority of the Vedas and the Hindu priests, and he taught anatta, or no self. He argued there is no permanent, unchanging soul, or Atman. Instead, the self is a collection of constantly changing processes. All things, including us, are in a state of anicca, or impermanence. Liberation, or nirvana, is the extinguishing of the flame of desire, the end of suffering, and the dissolution of this false sense of self. Buddhism flourished in India for over 1,000 years and was spread far and wide by one of history's most remarkable figures, Emperor Ashoka. After a bloody war, he converted to Buddhism and dedicated his reign to spreading its message of non-violence and compassion. He sent missionaries across the continent, and as Buddhism traveled, it adapted, splitting into 2 main branches: Theravada, the way of the elders, prevalent in Southeast Asia, and Mahayana, the great vehicle, which spread to China, Tibet, Japan, and Korea. Today, Buddhism's contributions are immeasurable. Its deep psychological insights and practical techniques for mindfulness and meditation are used in therapy, hospitals, and corporate wellness programs around the world, offering a timeless, practical path to inner peace.
3. Jainism, the path of nonviolence. Also emerging in that same fertile 6th century BCE was Jainism, an ancient religion of profound discipline and radical ethics. While it was organized and taught by Mahavira, a contemporary of the Buddha, Jains consider him to be the 24th Tirthankara, or Ford maker, one in a long line of enlightened beings stretching back into prehistory. The single, central, and non-negotiable tenet of Jainism is ahimsa, absolute nonviolence. While all dharmic faiths value nonviolence, Jainism takes it to its ultimate conclusion. Jains believe that all things, not just humans and animals, but plants, water, and even particles of air and earth, are inhabited by jiva, or a living soul. This is not just about not killing, it is about avoiding harm in thought, word, and deed to any living being. This is why you may see devout Jain monks and nuns gently sweeping the ground as they walk, to avoid stepping on insects, or wearing masks to avoid inhaling microscopic organisms. This core principle, ahimsa, is the first of 5 mahavratas, or great vows from monks and nuns. The others are satya, truth, asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, chastity, and aparigriha, non-possession. Lay Jains follow lesser vows, anuvratas, which apply these principles to daily life. Jains are strictly vegetarian, and their diet avoids root vegetables, as harvesting them kills the entire plant. Like Hinduism, Jains believe the soul is eternal, but in Jain cosmology, the soul is inherently pure and perfect. It is trapped and weighed down by karmic particles, a sticky physical substance acquired through any action, but especially violent or passionate ones. The only way to liberate the soul and allow it to float to its natural state of perfection is to stop the influx of new karma and shed the old one. This requires a life of extreme discipline, meditation, fasting, and above all, non-violence. Though small in number, Jainism's global impact is mighty. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of non-violent resistance, which he called satyagraha, or truth force, was deeply influenced by Jain principles. In our modern world, Jain ethics are reflected in movements for animal rights, environmentalism, and veganism, a 2,500-year-old message more relevant than ever. 4. Sikhism. One God. Our final path begins much later, in the 15th century, in the fertile land of Punjab. This was a time and place of great division, a crossroads where the diverse world of Hinduism met the monotheistic power of Islam, then ruling India under the Mughal Empire. It was a time of caste rigidity and empty ritual. From this world, a new voice of radical unity emerged, Guru Nanak. The story is told that Guru Nanak, a mystic respected by both Hindus and Muslims, went to bathe in a river and disappeared for 3 days. When he returned, he was not the same. He spoke a simple revolutionary message: there is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. He taught that there is only one God, Ik Onkar, who is formless, universal, and beyond all human labels. He is the same God whether you call him Allah, Rama, or Waheguru. He taught a practical path for the householder, a way to find God without renouncing the world as a monk or yogi. It rests on 3 pillars: Nam Japna, the meditation on and remembrance of God's name; Kirat Karni, earning an honest living; and Vand Chakna, sharing with others, especially the needy. Sikh philosophy was developed by a lineage of 10 gurus, each adding to the path. The 5th guru, Arjan, compiled the Sikh scriptures, the Adi Granth. But under increasing persecution from the Mughal emperors, the faith began to formalize. The 10th guru, Gobind Singh, in a dramatic and pivotal moment, created the Khalsa, an order of initiated saint soldiers. He declared the line of human gurus over. In their place, he installed the scripture itself as the final living guru for all time, the Guru Granth Sahib. The most powerful expressions of Sikhism are its practices. It rejects all caste and social divisions. The clearest example is the langar, or free community kitchen, found in every gurdwara, or Sikh temple. Thousands are fed daily with no questions asked. All sit together on the floor, a radical act of equality in a society still divided by caste. The faith emphasizes seva, or selfless service to all of humanity. And devout Sikhs who join the Khalsa identify with 5 articles of faith:
the 5 Ks, including uncut hair, a comb, and a kirpan, a small dagger, symbolizing their lifelong duty to defend the weak and uphold justice for all.
So, let us zoom out. 4 great paths, all born from the same land. What connects them, and what makes them unique? Despite their differences, these 4 religions share a remarkable philosophical structure. The emphasis on karma, rebirth, inner transformation, and the pursuit of liberation. Each tradition insists that real freedom comes not from external authority, but from self-awareness, discipline, and moral living. Yet they diverge in powerful ways. On the nature of God, Hinduism embraces many forms of the divine. Buddhism rejects a creator God. Jainism emphasizes radical non-possessiveness. Sikhism teaches devotion to one universal God alongside active service in society. On the path to liberation, Hinduism offers many yogas, knowledge, devotion, action. Buddhism offers the 8-fold path of mindfulness and detachment. Jainism offers the path of extreme discipline and non-violence. And Sikhism offers the path of loving devotion, service, and meditation on God's name. These are not small differences, but vast, competing, and complementary philosophies on the nature of existence. Together, they shaped Asia's cultural and spiritual landscape, influencing art, architecture, ethics, meditation, music, literature, and philosophies across continents. The legacy of these 4 faiths is not confined to temples or ancient texts. It is alive, and it is global. When you see yoga practiced in a park in London, or meditation used to train the minds of soldiers and executives, that is the living legacy of Hinduism and the Indic contemplative traditions. When Buddhist mindfulness is prescribed by a therapist to treat anxiety, or a hospital offers it to patients in pain, that is the legacy of the Buddha. Its deep psychological insights are now at the forefront of mental health. When we speak of nonviolent resistance, we echo Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was himself echoing Mahatma Gandhi, who was himself deeply influenced by the Jain principle of ahimsa. When we argue for sustainability, animal rights, and ethical consumerism, we are touching on principles of non-possession and non-harm that are thousands of years old. And when a natural disaster strikes anywhere in the world, or a refugee crisis unfolds, you will often find sick volunteers. Organizations like Khalsa Aid embody the principle of seva, running a langar to feed survivors and serve all of humanity, regardless of race or religion. The Dharmic faiths offer a rich philosophy of tolerance, discipline, peace, and mental clarity needed now more than ever. India's traditional religions are more than belief systems. They are spiritual roadmaps. They help us understand why we suffer, how we should live, and what it means to seek truth beyond the material world. From the ancient hymns of the Vedas to the compassion of the Buddha, from the discipline of the Jains to the courage and equality of the Sikhs, India's spiritual heritage continues to inspire and guide millions. These faiths remind us that the search for meaning is universal, and that liberation, whether called moksha, nirvana, kevala, or mukti, is the highest calling of the human spirit. Which of these faiths would you like a full, dedicated video on? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.